she was saying how she had missed Big Business Baddies, which is her accountability group, because she was doing things for her business. I'm not on some like be like your sister sort of thing, but sometimes we feel like, oh, I need to show up so that I can show that I'm doing the work. But the truth is, if you're doing the work, then you don't need to be at the practice. Like literally, our meetings are practice squad, scrimmages for how you're going to operate in the real world. And if you're out being a bad bitch operating in the real world, then you don't need to come and play life with us. Why does she need to be in a business accountability group where we tell her how to do business? She said, I got this. I got my big girl draws on. And I feel the same way about you when you prioritize feeding yourself, or you prioritize taking your trip, or you prioritize those things. That is the session. The session is, I feel confident enough to go and live as myself and do the things in that moment that is the most service of me. Y'all haven't seen her in here, but is like that. Like, we had our first coaching call, and when I tell you something clicked in her, and she been like, hey, listen, you can go ahead and cancel my call, big dog, because I'm going to be fucking my husband around that time. And I'd be like, okay, girl, well, shit. Well, I can't fuck him for you, so go ahead. I see you on the other side. Right? When you're showing up for yourself, then that's the whole point of this. Now, will I hold you accountable, and will I be irritated with you when you're like, I wasn't in call because I was arguing with my ex? That's kind of shit that I will put you out of my program for that, because what you said is, I got to cast a vote at who I am and what's important. And what's more important to me is devaluing myself and arguing with somebody versus getting support and showing up. But every time we have these conversations, what I hear is, I was out doing the thing that we've been practicing doing. So you did it. And that's where she is in her journey. Remember, none of us are ever on a wrong timing. Everybody is in their own time zone. And I've talked about that before. Here in California, it's 5:00. Where you at in Atlanta is at 8 p.m. If you try to act like if you're trying to live on California time, shit gonna always fill off, because you're not in your time. But if you are in your time zone, doing the activities that work for you in your time zone, then baby, you on time. And the only time you're going to feel off is when you're looking at somebody else and what time they're on, telling yourself, that's where I'm supposed to be. Be where the fuck you at, and you'll always be where you're supposed to be. No time is wasted. And the same thing I said when we first started talking. Every single one of these bitches is going through what they going through. And with all love and due respect, they may not even fucking notice when you're not there, because they are there getting theirs. So wherever you are, you have to trust and believe that I am always where I need to be, and I do not waste my time. If what you need is to be somewhere else because that's what's most serving you at that moment, then that's where you need to be. And you don't need to come back and show your work to us. It's not that we don't give a fuck. It's that we don't matter that much. No, of all the people you want to impress, bitch, you are number one. You are number one. At the end of the day, even if we do notice all of the shift and notice all of the change and notice all of the ways that you are transforming your life, at best, we're going to be like, good job, bitch. Have a great day. And if you're putting in all of this energy and all of this effort to be noticed, there will never be an applause loud enough to make you feel like the sacrifice was worth it. Fuck us. And a lot of people won't tell you that because they need something from you or want something for you. But I promise you, the people who love you and the people who are there for you will always have a fuck me attitude. Fuck me, you do what's best for you, because I'm showing up for me and you'll show up for you. But we are proud of you. And so I'm really excited to hear that that you are starting to do things for you. And I'm really going to be excited to hear that when you start doing things for you without the need of being witnessed. But the thing about not being willing to let go of something that's a good thing, that's lack mindset. That's lack mindset. And what we're saying, when we're not ready to let the night in, when we're not ready to let the job in, when we're not ready to let the conversation in, when we're not ready to hang up the phone, when we're not ready to graduate, what we're saying is, I do not trust myself or the universe that more like it will come to me. And that is just as as wrong and just as negative of thinking of saying, I'm not deserving and I can't have it. So I love this notion that you coached yourself out of it. And I want to remind you that that's just the thought of every entrepreneur and everybody who's going through anything. Like even when you're dating, you know what I mean? When that whole like, oh, I don't want to hang up. What we're saying is, I don't trust that you'll be the same person tomorrow. I don't trust that we'll have more good conversations. I'm afraid that you're going to go to bed and you're going to wake up and realize I don't like this bitch. When we fear, that about getting new clients. And so always checking our mindset to remind ourselves, I am that bitch. And if I got it once, I can get it twice. I can get it 12 times. Actually, there's so many motherfuckers out there that need me and there's only one me. Oh Lord, how am I going to sort and sift through them? And trust that, our hard work is preceding us. Sometimes we feel like we're not doing enough to get that next thing going, but what we're not realizing is the power of inertia. You don't have to work as hard to get your 10th client as you did to get your first client because, baby, you already got momentum and you're trusting that's that momentum where you had to do all of this work to get on a podcast and get your shit together and create the brochures and all of those sort of things. And now where you used to have to do sales calls and discovery calls and get all of these people to hear you and damn near beg for something, you sit back and you sit on a podcast and you let them disseminate your message and you let them disseminate your energy and you let people pick up on it and you learn to sit back and sit in who you are and let the universe do the work. Oh, work is still being done on your behalf. Baby, it just ain't you doing it. Congratulations. You got momentum. People think that you're doing good. Can I be honest with you and tell you, motherfuckers don't think you're doing good. What people think is, I don't want to deal with your sadness. I don't want to deal with what you're going through. So I'm going to force you being good on you. And I'm going to force you to agree that you're good so that I can ignore what you're going through. Like, for real. Everybody is like so caught up in their own shit most of the time. Not everyone. Some people are checking in on you. Some people love and care. But when you're like, I'm not doing well, and I'm looking at you in your eyes, and I'm praying that you ask me 2 times, how am I? So I can go ahead and have a proper breakdown and tell you that I'm not doing well. And someone's like, how are you? And you go, I'm okay. And they be like, that's good. They weren't listening. They weren't present. And you're like, am I not presenting? Am I not showing up? Am I not proving that I'm not doing good enough for people to pay attention? But a lot of times, because people are barely holding on by a fucking thread themselves, what they need to do is they need to have you convince them that they're okay because they don't want to stop and do it. And the truth is, like, even as parents, we do that sometimes, right? Like when your babies were small and they would fall and they start crying, you'd be like, oh, dust them off. You good, you good, you good. That's because it's like, look, I need to move through. I'm on autopilot. I'm not even paying attention. I need you to be good because if you're not good, then I have to stop what I'm doing. Then I have to come up out of my head. Then I have to be present. Then I have to be focused. And that can be harmful and hurtful. But in a program like this, where the whole point is for you to learn how to show up for yourself, is for you to learn how to get the help you need. And a lot of times that's internal. That's exactly what we need. You need somebody to ignore you when you're in pain because you need to stop ignoring your pain. And when we're constantly looking for somebody else to pat us on the back and say, oh, you're good, all that those people are doing is pacifying us to help us continue a cycle of fucking denying our feelings all the time. If I need to always confirm that if I think I'm in pain and I'm looking at you and I need you to confirm and tell me, yes, you're in pain, then I'm not learning to trust myself. Then I'm not learning to show up for myself. And so it's an opportunity to look at it as a blessing when everybody around you is on autopilot, when everybody around you is not paying attention to the fact that you're not okay. And also the fact that now you're not looking for somebody else to tell you you're good. You're good. Because you know, and that's a difference. That's growth. Before, if somebody was like, you're okay, you would just self-abandon and just assume, you know what, I'm tripping. I am okay. But now you're to a point of knowing yourself well enough that you're like, I don't give a fuck what you say. I know me and I know when I'm not good. And in this moment, I'm not good. And what you've just done is prove to me that whether you don't want to, can't do, or won't do, you're not showing up in a way that's for me. And so I need to go ahead and turn it on myself. For the last 4 cohorts, there's always one person who has the same testimony you just shared. Always one. What's really interesting about doing this work, right, that healing and that trauma work is typically we only deal with our traumas when we are triggered, because any other time is not a good time. And the truth is, when we're triggered, it's not a good time because we're not going to get any good results. And showing up to a program like Get With The Shift or doing the journaling or doing the work, what we're saying is, I'm having a good enough day that I'm about to go fuck it up intentionally, right? Dealing with your trauma, like just waking up and being like, I'm ready, is fucking choosing violence. It's saying, I'm having a good day and I'm about to intentionally fuck it up today so that I can maybe have a good day in the future. So, of course, you're going to be met with some internal resistance because you're like, I've been having shitty days for the last, how many fucking days have I been alive? So the last thing I want to do when I see a glimmer of hope or a glimmer of sunshine or a light at the end of the tunnel is to be honest with myself about how far back in the tunnel I am. Is to be honest with myself about all of the shit that I've been stuffing. Our inclination is to stuff down the things that make us sad when we have a day where we have the capacity to actively be sad. So it's not procrastination that stops us from wanting to journal or for wanting to deal with our trauma or wanting to show up in that way. It's self-preservation. It's the same part of our brain that makes us forget all of the shit that we've gone through. And remembering, when you start to remember, our trauma and our triggers so that we can heal through them, we then activate, we talked about this before, the reticular activating system, which is, you notice, soon as you start complaining, every negative thought that you have surrounding that just starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I've had scenarios where I've witnessed myself tell the same story in 2 different instances. And one time I tell the story when I'm in a good mood and it's like, oh, I remember my childhood and we used to play outside and I was on the swim team and I remember winning the swim team. And then if I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, I remember having an asthma attack and my mom didn't bring my inhaler and everybody was laughing at me. But the thing is, both of those scenarios are the same truth. Both of them are true. Both of them happened in the exact same day, but it's all about where my head is. And so it's hard to want to flip the switch to negativity so that I can process things and move through them. But that's why, as we're going through failure, it's so important, if you guys have already done it, to create the sagacity plan. And I know you said you're having a hard time going through it, but part of what your activities are for this particular topic is to write out something that happened in the past that, like, this is how I got through it. Something that I'm going through right now, this is how I'm going to support myself. And knowing these 2 things about how I get through things, the next time I'm having a tough time, this is how I'll get through the future. So it's not just about, and this is my challenge to you, it's not just about wanting to heal your trauma and your triggers and showing up in that way. It's before you even set the stage to fuck up a good day by processing your unhealed wounds, is to set up how you're going to take care of yourself. So that when you're exhausted from being honest about how shitty life has been, you don't have to make decisions about how I'm going to take care of myself. So it's not just like, oh, let me wake up and let me write out all of the sad shit that ever happened. It's like, you know what? Let me make sure that I order ahead my favorite food. Let me make sure that I have the bubble bath that I like. Let me make sure that I turn my phone on Do Not Disturb. So once I'm done digging deep, I have a rebound plan to take care of myself. And one of the things that I can think of is maybe what I would ask for you is to set up your rebound plan before you start digging deeper into the trauma. What's the self-care plan? Remember back in the day when you first started here, which feels like 1,000 years ago, you didn't make it to our call because you was making cookies and shit. So maybe you say, if on Tuesday I'm going to deal with some bullshit, the bullshit of 10 years past, Tuesday night, I'm going to ask my homegirl, who is not a sad bitch. Do not invite the sad bitches over. because then y'all just gonna commiserate and be sad bitches together. Hey, do you want to come make cookies on Tuesday and not talk about no sad shit? Or put a barrier around it, put some boundaries around it. Like, hey, I know we both went through a lot of shit. I'm just looking forward to making amazing memories with you. And I know we're going to talk about some sad shit. Can we just talk about it on the phone so that we don't make any more sad memories? Because as adults, something I'm noticing in our friendships, and that's going to be our next topic is, have y'all noticed that getting together with your homegirls hasn't been as much as creating new experiences as it has been, let me catch you up. And I've decided I'm not doing no more catch-up dates. I'm not about to just go and sit down and tell you, depending on my mood, all of the bad shit, all of the good shit that happened. Bitch, let's make some new memories. Adult friendship is starting to feel like all we do is sit down and talk about all of the bad shit that happened since the last time I saw you. No. I'm not doing it. Where you want to go? Are we going to go chase some ass or make some cash? Because, girl, I need experiences. I want to make new memories. I want to create new inside jokes. Whatever happened last week is what happened last week, and all that you need to know is I survived. And we're not on the friendship topic yet, but I think that's a perfect way to segue into how we can start reframing our friendships. Ain't no more catching up. Bitch, life's been good. Life's been good. Oh, but I saw that you was divorced. Shit. Clearly it's happening for a reason, and the good is to come. That divorce created more space and time for me to be right here for you, with you, bitch. Come on, let's go get a drink. Let's go shake some ass. I got a problem. What's your problem? Ain't enough ass being shaken. Girl, please. Assuming y'all like y'all friends to shake ass as much as I like my friends to shake ass. I really challenge myself when it comes to being with my friends to stay present. I didn't even tell y'all, or maybe I did or didn't. The studio that I'm recording at is actually the same studio where they record Good Moms, Bad Choices. I met them from being on their podcast, and we're all, I saw some nods. Y'all already knew exactly where I was at. And like, I love when I get to hang out with Mila, because for some reason, that girl's titties is always falling out. Like literally mid-conversation, her titties is out. And I love it because it keeps me so present in the moment, because all I'm curious about is what she's saying right now and how many seconds in between now and when her titties is going to pop out again. And it's just like, what more important is happening than my friend's titties trying to make its way to me? And it was hilarious is her boyfriend is the one who's handling my sound. But isn't it what it's like, Orlando? I'm like, she be talking, and I'm like, hold on, just pause for a second. Your titty is out. Are you going to put it up, or can we just have a moment of silence while we look at your adorable little titty? Like, come on. And I got big titties. I'm used to seeing big titties. I want to see cute little titties. Like, come on, variety. The universe said I deserve some motherfucking variety. Like, it's that level of how I distract myself and keep myself present. And like, so much life happens between when I see them. And every time I see them, we're like, we're going to do more. And life takes us away from that. But I'm always, I don't have any updates. How's life been? All that matters is I'm here with you right now. Whatever happened in life, everything happened as it should, because I'm right here, right now, where I'm supposed to be. And I just want to be here. And that's the point of dealing with the trauma, so that when you get to good days, we're not putting on hats of, or we're not worried about, how am I showing up? Am I being a good friend right now? Am I being who they want? Am I showing up help? It's just like, listen, bitch, I'm a gift, and I'm here right now. That's the gift. We are present for that. So setting up that plan and giving yourself something to look forward to. When I know I'm going to the beach, I'm telling myself, on the way to the beach, I'm going to have a good time. How do I know, and how can I promise myself that I'm going to have a good time at the beach? When I hear the sound of waves, it is automatically a good time. So anytime my thoughts venture to something else, I'm like, hold on, bitch. Do you hear the sound of waves? It's a good time. It's a good time. And then I set up appointments and dates to ruin the day. But when it's time for a good time, I'm not about to ruin the day. And when I'm going to ruin the day, I have a plan for a good time. I have a bounce back. I congratulate myself. So I'm really looking forward to if you can DM me what your plan is for the ways that you are going to call yourself back into the present moment and enjoy the life that you are living, and remind yourself that you are now living the life that you prayed for, that is a piece of your dream life, so that then you can build yourself up to be willing to deal with the hard shit right now. Because I really think that that's probably what's holding you back and making you procrastinate. Your fear that once you get into that hard place, you won't be able to get yourself back to joy. But I promise, you've navigated out of bullshit 1,000 times. You'll do it again. Let's create a plan.
A deep, deep thank you goes out to you, BaeFriend, for tuning into the Shift Show. I'm Britteny Floyd-Mayo, founder of Trap Yoga Bae, your positive psychology advocate, and master confidence coach. I'm so glad that you joined me on this journey of self-discovery and transformation. My goal with Shift Show is to bring you real, raw, and unfiltered clips from live coaching sessions that can inspire you to live your best life and get your shit together. I'm so glad you joined me on this journey of self-discovery and transformation. Don't forget to follow me on social media at Trap Yoga Bae to find out how you can be in the room live, as well as catch behind-the-scenes content and daily inspiration. You can listen to Shift Show everywhere you listen to audio. You name it, bitch, I'm there. Thanks for being a part of my BaeFriend community. Stay fabulous, keep shining, and remember, you can get your shift together so you can keep your shit together. Until next time, BaeFriends. Mwah.